All right, so this is getting God to say yes, 5 keys to answer prayer. And here we're going into chapter 2, dependence, confidence in the character of God. Therefore, in quotations, I say to you, all things for which you pray and ask, I believe that you have received them and they will be granted to you. Here's the problem. On one hand, we cannot have great answers to our prayers without believing in God. On the other hand, we have a struggle believing God because we don't feel that He is answering our prayers. It reminds us of a recent experiment of cause and reward conducted with mice running through a maze. At the end of the maze was a trap door. The mouse had to run through the maze, push open the trap door to claim his reward, a piece of cheese. The mouse memorized the maze and became quite proficient in running through it and quickly claiming his prize. One day the experiment took a turn. As the mouse opened the trapdoor, he was sprayed in the face with cold water. The mouse was stunned, but he still wanted the cheese. The next day the mouse ran through the maze and was rewarded with the cheese. One day he got the cheese. The next day water. For several days this went on, alternating back and forth. The poor little mouse had a nervous breakdown. He stopped going through the maze. He wanted the cheese, but not the cold water. He ended up just sitting over in a corner. He could not make up his mind. He gave up. I think sometimes we feel that, like that little mouse. So he went into a nervous breakdown. Okay, so this just goes into like the spiritual concept of life. You don't have to go into a nervous breakdown over something that happened. Okay, it happened, but like, you just gotta learn how to adapt and navigate your way through life as forehand. You can't ruminate on things that happened already. If something happened already, you just gotta accept it as it already happened and just bear with that. Because when you go into nervous breakdown, it just goes into an illusion where you just tap into your primitive instincts. Because when you tap into your primitive instincts, that primitive instincts is about feeling. It's about, so when you rely too much on how you feel, nothing good comes of it. So nothing is good about feeling. You said like, endure the discomfort head on, never give up. Be about God loves us. He really wants us to heal, but we really need to try to make it happen. And none of this is going to happen overnight. It's a spiritual concept. It's like the reality of life. He wants us not to give in to temptations. He wants us to be the righteousness, glory, and we are on our own path. We're set on our own path to go towards what's right. So it's the ship to the boat of righteousness on the path to our greatest destination. And we are meant to, as mankind, to face our greatest fears head on, travel life. So at the end of the day, we shouldn't be so worried about what are we gonna eat, what are we gonna drink. As a matter of fact, that shouldn't be the least of our concerns. What should be the most of our concerns is how we're gonna get through and fulfilled on our main purpose, our main journey, and what really should be done. We should really be focused on what we should really be getting through with in life. So sometimes we feel slapped in the face with a no. We lose our confidence in prayer and often becomes the last resort. So we should not lose our confidence. We should keep the confidence and faith, and it's the best value that it can give us. All right, guys, if you are new to the channel, don't be afraid to subscribe. That's how we get our followers. But thanks for tuning into our main spiritual lesson. The spiritual lesson is basically make sure you know we feel slapped in the face with a no, but is the no really what we desired? Of course not, but we're leading into our soul of not temptations, but not what makes us feel the most good, but what's best in the long run. So long-term gratification. Long-term gratification over instant gratification. All right, guys.